Welcome to Go Get Great, the podcast for aspiring entrepreneurs and ambitious small business owners. I'm your host, Brittany, owner of Brittany Miller Socials and mother of 3. Go Get Great is all about helping you make life and business work together. You'll learn about the fumbles that helped get me and my guests to where we are today so you don't have to make them. So come join the journey with Go Get Great.
All right. Try and get comfortable. We cram 2 people into a room here. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Go Get Great podcast. I thought we would do something a little bit lighter because my motivation has been in the toilet lately. Great way to start the episode, right? So I brought Grayson back on as a guest. I thought we would have a fun, candid conversation. We'll see how long this goes. Maybe this will be 2 episodes. Maybe we'll all talk about it together. But I want to go through some of the names that we've maybe picked out for baby number 4, who is coming in less than a month. Holy crap, time flies. And maybe some of the things that we're doing to kind of get ready for baby number 4 versus like what we maybe did for babies 1 through 3, and just, have a little bit of like a life update episode because, man, it has been a freaking roller coaster over here. Grayson's smiling because he knows how long our to-do list is. Oh, and my ears are ringing. This is great. Somebody's talking about me. So Grayson and I have a notorious track record of not being able to agree on anything when it comes to baby names. Like anything. I'm trying to find a pencil so I can make some notes as we go.
It was just the boys' names.
I mean,
we just don't like them is the problem.
No, we really don't. I have a really hard time naming boys. Although, to be fair, if anyone knows me from like way back when we had Talia 4 years ago, which really is not all that long ago, I had a hard time picking her name. But we at least narrowed it down. It was easier. We had at least narrowed it down to like, I think it was top 3. We had 3. I don't remember what our other ones were though.
I know we did that with Rhett, but I can't remember.
We did not do that with Rhett.
At the end, we just gave a list and then picked 3 out of them.
It was bad. Rhea's, we didn't really have an issue for because you and I weren't technically together at that point, and I just kind of said, F you, I'm choosing. So that made the process a lot simpler. Hopefully you like her name now because it's done. So typically our process for choosing a baby name is Brittany goes through the name book and makes a very long list of the names that she might like. And then we have a conversation much like this. I think we recorded it last time too. I put it up on YouTube somewhere. Maybe I'll try and find the link and put it in the show notes if you'd care to, probably get a laugh out of how stupid we sound arguing about baby names. No, you may not cheat in advance. That's not fair.
So then I pick one name that I like and Brittany goes, well, that was my least favorite name on the list.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then Grayson will give me a list of names and I'll laugh at them thinking he's joking because he tends to do that a lot. And then he's serious and then he feels offended. So it's a great process. It's amazing that our relationship has survived to have 4 children because...
Last time I gave her a list of names and she was like, I don't like any of these. And then she said, what about Rhett? And I was like, that's on my list. And you said you didn't like any of them.
Okay, to be fair, the only reason I had crossed Rhett off was because I didn't want any of my kids to have a name that started with the same letter. And we already had Rhea, so I was trying not to choose a name that started with R.
The next list you gave me had Rhett on it.
Well, yeah, because I realized at a week old I was going to have to compromise on something, or we were going to name him Baby, and that was going to be his name for the rest of eternity, and that wasn't going to fly. So I got a little bit more flexible 7 days post-birth. Before birth, not so much. So... So we'll see how this goes today. We did go through and we had talked about a few. So I'm going to rattle off a couple names that made it to my list but were vetoed by Grayson already. And then we'll go through the ones that we haven't gone through yet. So Adler was a no-go.
Wow, I wonder why. Jeez.
But I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, but it is.
Alistair was on here. Alden. Odin. Bowden. Oh, good. We have kids crying. Please pause for 1 minute. We'll be back. All right. And we're back from our commercial break. Gotta love trying to record when your kids are sick, which in our household has been perpetually since December. So, fun times. Anyway, going back. Yeah. So we had Alden and Odin, Bowden, Benson, I feel like we're on a game show and I'm just like
Benson.
don't look.
I like Benson.
I thought you didn't like it. You
No,
vetoed it.
When I say I like it, I mean in a sarcastic way.
Oh.
It's like you just didn't want to name him Ben.
Okay. Blaine. I didn't mind Blaine. You didn't seem to like that one very much. And that was as far as we made it. After I made it through the bees, I was like, this is silly. We should record this because
I feel like I said yes to some of those that you just listed. Like I said no to Alistair.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we had a conversation about it and neither of us said we loved it that much. So I just took that to mean that we didn't really like it enough to stay on the list.
It sucks that nobody comes up with good boys' names.
You know what?
That you also like.
The book, it looks like it's an even 50% girls and boys, but I swear the boys section is shorter and half of them, no offense to anyone that's not Canadian, but I can't fucking pronounce. And if I can't even read it in my head, I'm not naming my child that. So it really limits your options. Okay, so those were the names that we vetoed already. Here are some of the ones that we hadn't gone through, or actually a couple of the A's and B's that stayed. There's only 3. Adrian is still on here, ironically. I didn't think that one would survive.
It's close. It could have been like Aiden.
No, we know Aiden's.
Yeah, well, you put it on the last list with Red.
Did I?
Red
I
was
don't
almost named
remember
Aiden.
that.
You pushed for it so hard. In fact, you had, I think, like 3 different spellings.
No, we almost named him something that started with an O, didn't we?
No, well, I don't. An O?
I think so.
Oscar?
No.
Oswald?
No.
I can't even think of any O names.
I don't remember what it was, but I remember my mom hated it so much. Do you not remember that? Because we tried calling him that for like a few days, and then my mom came over and heard us say it. Yeah, and that was the conversation we had. And then she blamed me for Grayson choosing the name I chose.
She blamed me. I think I came up with it, and you were like, oh, I like that name. Mm-hmm. And she was like, how could you let Grayson name him that?
She's like, that's such an ugly name for such a cute baby. She's like, I will never call him that. I was like, excuse me, if we name our child this, you will definitely call him by his name. I can't remember what it is either. I was maybe going to go and look it up in Red's book, but I don't remember.
Because it was a good name.
It wasn't too bad. And then ironically, I had friends name their son almost something exactly the same 2 weeks later. I was like, see, Mom,
what are their names?
I'd have to go and look it up. I don't remember either. I don't see them that often. We're not that close. Yeah, so that was a time. Choosing Rhett's name was definitely a struggle. That was one of the biggest ones. It was like almost towing the line between, do I stand my moral ground and name my child what I want and tell my mom she's got to suck it up, or do I just choose something different? And we chose something different.
Yeah, it was like, with the girls, it was almost like, which one of these great names are we going to pick? Mm-hmm. And then with the boys, it's like, I guess we gotta pick one of these.
It's like, which one is going to cause the least amount of family drama and spousal, discontent? Okay, so Adrian is on the list. Alaric is still on the list.
Did I agree to that?
Yeah, you did. Maybe you didn't know that's how I was going to pronounce it, though.
How's it spelled?
Alaric.
Alaric, yeah, I guess that's how you would spell it.
So this is why we stopped doing this, because we were doing it via text while Grayson was at work, and then he'd be like, well, how do you pronounce that? And I'm trying to, phonetically type it, and I was like, this is not working.
almost feel like if I have to ask, it's probably not great.
No.
That's definitely one where the teacher's going to say it wrong every single time.
Okay, but here's my thing, because every time I name a child, someone goes, did you make that name up? Or is that a native name? I've got that before, too. But we get a lot of, and how do you pronounce that? So, I mean, we're just out to sea with this because we've already named 3 of our children now. And it's not like I can name the next one Bob, because that's not fair to one of our children when everyone else doesn't know how to pronounce the other kids' names.
I feel like the only people who ask that are your mom.
No, it was a family friend that asked my mom that. But we get a lot of Thalia for Talia.
Yeah, which is odd because Talia is
a pretty common name.
Heard multiple times.
It's like there's an H in it. Not everyone spells it with an H, and we also get a lot of Raya for Raya, which confuses me, but
Raya, because the A makes the I long.
I guess. And we get a lot of Brett for Rhett, because the R is a soft consonant. I think some people just don't hear it when we say it. But I was like, really? We really tried with Rhett. We tried to make that one easy. Okay, so Alaric is a maybe not. Just gonna put an X beside that one. And then Bryce survived from the bees.
Obviously, I obviously felt like I had to pick one.
Okay, so maybe not that one either. Okay.
Right.
Do we need to put an X beside Adrian too? Should we just start from ground zero?
Adrian is okay.
Okay.
Compared to the other ones.
All right. So then we're into C's now. So I liked Kaylin.
What's the name? Somebody came up with it.
You see what I mean, guys? This is why we're recording this. You should probably watch this on YouTube so you can see Grayson's facial expressions.
How's it spelled? K-L-Y-N-N?
We're in the C section, babe.
C dash...
My goodness.
But
So I'd either spell it C-A-L-I-N or you could spell it C-A-E-L-I-N.
Yeah. Those are spellings for a name that is a name.
And Grayson doesn't like that one. What about Callum?
Callum. I mean, I'm not that big of a fan. That's still a normal name though, at least.
Colby?
Like C-O-L-B-Y?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It sounds a lot like Kobe though, and I can see how that would get very confused.
Okay.
All right,
well,
that's a maybe. So put that one as like a maybe.
all right. Coulter?
It's the same as the last name, isn't it?
I put that on here. I don't know how I feel about it now, but at the time.
Next to my old house was like Coulter Street or something.
Okay, well, we're going to cross it off then because I don't love it that much. Damien. I'm pretty sure this one made the list last time and you didn't like it.
No, yeah, it was the same thing. No, I don't really like it that much.
And I put this one on again because I still like this as a name. Declan.
Why do you do this?
Because I like the name.
It's just like one of those names where you add a Y to a normal name and now it's a different name.
What? Declan. There's no Y in it.
No, I know, but like it's just it's just a bad name.
Now watch, I'm going to say this next one and I think it's a really out there name and I don't love it and it'll be Grayson's favorite. Ready for this?
I feel like I should be able to pick the boys' names.
Yeah, that's what he said last time.
I'm a boy.
So Grayson wanted to name Talia Newton if she was a boy, just for reference.
No. Was that Talia or was that Red?
No, that was Talia.
And that was like...
That was the one I thought he was kidding and I laughed about and he got offended.
That was a name suggestion. It wasn't even like I was like, oh yes, the greatest name ever to exist.
No, I didn't like it. I thought you were kidding. To be fair, he goes around the entire time I'm pregnant and has conversation with his friends and coworkers going, we picked a name for our kid. Give them some examples.
I'll say like Spraggulus or something. I won't say Newton, a name that people have been named before.
I don't know any Newtons.
Sir Isaac? Newton?
Okay, that's really old and that's his last name.
So what?
He didn't choose it! Neither did his parents!
Okay, Brittany.
Okay, so the name that I'm not fond of, but I think Grayson's gonna like, Egan.
It's alright. The only thing about that one is I'm pretty sure that the bad guy in the original's Ghostbusters, isn't his name is like Egon or something, so...
Okay, he's only thinking that because we went to see Ghostbusters on Friday. That was date night. I didn't even remember that. How did you? That movie was like literally probably as old as we are.
No, it was way older than us. It was like an 80s movie, isn't it?
Case in point.
I mean, I've seen it before.
Okay, should we cross that one off then?
I guess.
Okay.
I mean, do you like it? Then yeah, cross it off.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem because we never agree on anything and then there's no names left on the list. Okay, what about Eldon?
I thought you had already given that one to me before. That one sounds familiar.
I don't remember. Maybe this was on Rhett's list. But how do you feel about it?
It's alright. That one's a maybe.
Okay.
That one I think is good enough to make the list.
I've been watching the newest season of SWAT. I'm not usually much of a TV person, but I've been really tired at night. And every time they have like a difficult conversation, they're like, and it makes you feel some sort of way. And I'm just like, is that even English? But we're having this conversation and it reminded me of that. Okay, what about Emery?
Sounds too much like a girl's name.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that one. Okay.
Yeah, I think that would be fine as a girl's name, though. Although, it does just sound like you didn't want to name your kid Emily.
Hadn't thought of that. I don't think Grayson likes this one either. Pretty sure this was a repeat from last time, but I still like Finley.
You would like Finley.
See? Grayson's argument last time, and I'm sure we'll get this in a few minutes, was that it sounds like I pick names that a girl picked for a boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because I am a female picking a name for a boy. How else are they supposed to sound?
They're supposed to sound like a boy's name.
All right. Okay, what about Gideon?
Yeah, I feel like we had talked about that with Rhett.
I feel like it was maybe one of our top 3.
Yeah, it made the list,
think so.
I think.
This wasn't the one my mom hated, by the way, but she definitely didn't love this one either.
What, Gideon?
That's so old-fashioned. He's not an old man.
You're right, we should call him Gilbert.
That is not any better. And also, one day he will be an old man, so like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. What about Jalen?
How do you spell that?
Yes.
J-L-Y-N.
It's not a rapper, babe. It's a baby.
Well, you could put a dash in people's names. Isn't like a Mary Sue a dashed name, a hyphenated name?
Yes, but J on its own is not a name. Those are 2 names put together with a hyphen. You're just hyphenating.
What if Lynn is the middle name and J is the first name? Anyways, it makes me think of J-Lo.
All right, fine. No Jalen.
I don't think it's that bad, actually. It does sound like a girl's name, though, to me.
Okay, well, what if we do something similar sounding, but with a different starting letter? What about Caden?
That would be Kaylin, wouldn't it? And that's goes back to the name I just said no to.
Also on the list, that was the next one. So that's a no to Kaylin and Caden.
I mean, yes, it is a no to both of them.
You're killing me.
It's going back to one of those.
You're killing me. Okay, what about Callan?
Holy... I'm starting to think you're giving me the same names over and over again, and I can't...
No, it was Callum. This is Callan. Or there was Kaylin.
Jeez. What? There was another... I thought we were out of the C's, weren't we?
We're in the K's.
I thought you just gave me Jalen 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, and K comes after J.
So you just took all the C names and put a K at the start of them instead?
No, I didn't. They're all spelt differently. Which you technically can't see.
Did you put a Y in there somewhere?
No, I didn't. It would be Callen, K-A-L-L-E-N. Or I guess you could do K-A-L-L-I-N too.
No.
The list is getting real short here, guys. For the record,
there'll be one left. We'll just pick that name.
There's not a lot of options beyond T. In fact, there are none. So we're almost out of names here. I also kind of like the name Killian, but it is very old-fashioned, and it also reminds me of the TV show Once Upon a Time.
I also don't want to shorten the name to Kill.
There's that. There's that. I mean, you could shorten it to Ian, but I don't like that.
No.
See, that's my other thing. I'll find a name that I like, and then everyone will be like, "Oh, great, we can call them this as their like short form nickname." And I'm like, I hate that. Don't do that.
I feel like you also don't like when people shorten names at all.
I don't. I really don't like being called Britt. The only people that get away with it are my mother and my brother-in-law. Well, my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law.
I was gonna say because my mom calls you that. But...
Yeah. They're the only 2 people that are allowed to. And, like, maybe some of my close friends. I think Zoe calls me Britt every once in a while. But for the most part, I don't tolerate that. That is not my name. I do not want to be called that. If you call me Britt, that's probably fine. If I haven't corrected you, you're on the close friends list. All right. And again, I think we've got some repeats from last time. I still like Lachlan.
How do you spell that? Is there a G in there somewhere?
No, there isn't. How do you think it's spelled?
Lochlyn.
I guess you could spell it like that. I spell it Locklen.
Yeah, that's also. I've noticed you also just go with how it sounds. You sound it out and spell the name that way.
Well, I'm trying to get my children's names to be pronounced correctly when someone reads it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What about Leland? That was a no. I don't need any words for that.
I read a comic with a Leland in it. It just made me think of it. But no, Leland is. Stop it.
This is why she can't be in here when I'm on Zoom calls or recording podcasts, because she's so loud. I mean, I don't particularly care, but it's you that edits the audio.
Yeah, but she's already been stepping around the whole time.
I know. All right, what about Luca?
Luca. I'm okay with that one. It does sound a little bit like a girl's name, though.
What about, I don't know that I like Lucas, but I did.
I don't like Lucas.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to suggest it, and I was like, but I don't like it.
No. I wrote this down. I'm wondering what mindset I was in the morning I read through the M's. Just throwing that out there. Also, I don't think choosing a name that starts with M is a great idea when our last name is Miller. I just feel like that's too much alliteration, so there wasn't a lot in this.
First of all, that is the minimum amount of alliteration.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like it. But anyway, I chose Malin. I try and choose at least one for each letter.
Yeah. That's
That's
I can already think of how I would make fun of somebody with that name.
And what comes to mind?
Well, maybe they could be like a football player, and they could be Malin the Mallet. Because they're good at hitting people.
This is what I contend with when choosing to name a child. Nylon?
How do you spell that? Nylon?
Neylan.
Oh.
I guess you could pronounce it Naylan.
Okay, because nylon comes to mind.
All right, fine. We'll cross that one off. What about Nigel?
And that's better than Newton? What
For the
fuck?
record, that one wasn't actually on my list.
Jesus. I was almost angry. No, I was angry.
Okay, what about Negan?
Okay. That one's on your list, too? That one's actually on your list?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
So that was a no.
Negan. Where'd you even see that?
The baby name book. All of these came from the name book.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm. What about Nolan?
Yeah, I mean, it's a normal name. It sucks when...
Buy a lottery ticket, guys. He didn't veto something.
It sucks when it's too normal.
I know, that's the thing. I was like, this is almost too mainstream for Italian.
I haven't heard anybody named Nolan before, though, so I don't know. That seems fine.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I probably have, but no one comes to mind. See, that's the other thing. I don't like having names that are associated with people that I know because I feel like that's weird. So, like, technically, I knew a Jalen and a Kaylin, so I was only
you
like...
You know a Jalen?
Yeah, I went to school with one.
Oh. Were, like, their parents, like, upstanding people, or...?
I don't know. It was public school. I was probably 8.
I'm just wondering because they named their kid Jalen. So.
So I have mixed feelings about this one because I have a name association with it, too.
Yeah?
With another TV show. But Sealy.
You have an association with that?
Uh-huh. You should, too. You've watched it with me.
What is it?
Bones.
I have not watched a single episode of Bones.
Really?
Maybe I've seen some of it, but I couldn't. But Sealy.
The main character, the main male lead character's name is Sealy Booth.
It does. I would have guessed that's a girl just by that name, first of all.
No, the female lead is Temperance Brennan.
Temperance. I hate that name. Sealy is definitely a TV show name, though. It's like, sounds very nicknamey.
No, that's his actual name.
No, I know, but I mean, it was picked for a TV show character, though.
I think it means, like, because he's FBI or something. I forget. I think he is FBI. But I think it means, like, honorable.
Well, like, what's the name of the main character in SWAT? What's his name? What do they call him? The black guy.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
Because he has a very nicknamey sounding name, too.
I literally just came downstairs from watching an episode, and now my mind is blanking. I just want to keep calling him by his Criminal Minds name, Derek Morgan, but it's not that. He's Googling it.
Yeah, I am. I thought he would come up like immediately.
Try cast?
It should be here.
Oh, here we go.
Hondo, yeah.
But Hondo's his nickname. His name's actually Daniel Harrelson.
Oh. Where did you... Anyway.
I don't write the script.
I think you should add Hondo to the list.
I'm not putting Hondo on the list. What's the verdict on Sealy? That was a no.
Oh,
it felt like a no.
I don't know. It's not bad, but I think it sounds a little too feminine. I don't know.
We'll
just
say maybe.
Just maybe on that
All
one,
right.
yeah.
Okay, maybe. Also, I skipped the R's because I'm not going for 3 R's.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you meant you didn't read the ones you wrote down.
No.
Yes.
I just didn't even look through the section. If I don't read any of the names, I can't fall in love with something I don't want. Okay, we're down to 3, and they all
be good.
and they all are in the T section. So we'll see. Tate.
We're 0 for 3 so far.
Okay.
0 for 1.
Then you're not gonna like the next one, which is
God.
Tayton.
Why? What? That had to be a joke.
I just have to throw some things in here for comic relief. And I don't think you'll like this one because I think you'll tell me it's a girl's name. But I think it's technically a gender neutral name. Tegan.
Oh. Have you met a boy, Tegan?
I want to say yes.
I've seen Keegan.
Yeah, I went to school with a Keegan.
Which is also kind of like a...
I actually don't hate that name, but again...
I was going to say you could add that to it.
Alright, we'll put it down. But Tegan was a no.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't like that one that much.
Okay, so what names would you like to suggest? A wise and
Well,
apparently better namer for boys.
Well, see, I didn't write any down at all, so I don't got anything.
Helpful. Helpful. He knows. We are T-minus, 28 days to the due date, and he just doesn't bother to participate in the
what's
conversation?
the point? What's the point if every single name I put out there is just going to be...
Well, maybe I'll find something on your list that you like. Okay, so what haven't we crossed off? Maybe we can narrow it down to our top 3. We still have Adrian, Alaric, Callum was a maybe, Colby.
I feel like you just... Oh, no, you did write maybe there.
Eldon, Gideon, Luca, Nolan, Sealy, and Keegan.
Okay. Let's take Keegan off.
Okay. That was backwards progress, but okay. All right. So should we maybe pause for a minute and each write down our top 3?
What? Don't we only have 4 on here?
Oh, did we cross off a Lark? I see there's an X beside it now.
I think that was, yeah. Now that makes sense, actually. I think.
Okay. So we've got Adrian, Callum, Colby, Eldon, Gideon, Luca, Nolan, Sealy. There's 7.
Okay.
No, 8.
So we'll manage to get nothing overlapping.
Probably.
All right. Well, we can pause then. And...
All right. We'll be back in a minute. All right, and we're back. We're going to see who's about to get voted off the island. Apparently me for giving Grayson a pen that didn't write the first time.
We'll probably only take off 2 names because we've got 8, right?
Yep. So that means we probably chose 6. So at least that narrows it down a little bit. Okay, do you want me to go first or do you want to go first? Okay.
And I'll make fun of you.
Okay, so in 3rd place, and I had a really hard time with 3rd place. 3rd. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a hard time with 3rd. I felt like 1 and 2 I was pretty solid with, but I struggled with 3. But I went with Gideon.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what to take from that. So we'll move on. So my 2nd choice was Nolan.
Okay.
And my 1st choice was Luca.
Oh, this is interesting.
Guys, could this mean that there's a consensus?
Gideon, not on my list.
Okay, all right, fair.
Wait, so what didn't we pick then?
I don't know, because you haven't told me what your
it.
other 2 are.
It's just funny because I feel like the names you were like, I really like these. You didn't pick.
Like what?
Like Adrian. You tried to get so many A names through the gate with...
Because I knew that by the time I got to the end, I was going to be pissed off and there wasn't going to be anything on the list.
It was like, well, no, I mean when we were with Rhett. You were
I don't really...
Adrian and Aiden and...
I don't really like Adrian all that much. That is not a name. That is not a name.
Amsterdam.
Also, I've been watching too much of Miraculous with Talia, and that's the name of the main character, and I'm just not feeling it.
That's actually part of the reason why I like it more, though. I feel like if you brought that up before we watched that show, I might have just been like, I don't know about that, but I don't think it matters because neither of us picked it.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 was Nolan.
Okay. All right. At least we're close on something.
Number 2 was Kobe.
Okay.
And number 1 was Luca.
Oh. Wow. That's surprising.
I think it's surprising, especially considering the conversation we had around the name.
Which is ironic, actually, because one of the first names that I actually wrote down before I even went through the name book was Luca.
Oh, you wrote it and then crossed it off?
Well, because I put it in alphabetical order when I did the list.
It looks like you wrote Lucas.
I think there were brackets around it. You just can't see the brackets.
And you just crossed out Weston. You didn't try to get that one through the gate.
No, because then I remembered that's Rhett's middle name.
Rhett's middle name, yeah. I was like, why is it even here in the first place? But
I forgot. We never call him by his middle name, and I forgot.
We should have tried to slip it into everybody's name.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. This is one of the other reasons why I had such a hard time naming Rhett, because I wanted to have my children have some sort of theme to all of their names, to all be interconnected, because I like symbolism and Grayson hates it.
It's another one of those
just kidding.
Girl naming boys things that they do. My family is all named after the rest of my family.
So Talia technically means joy. In one language iteration or another.
Why did we pick her middle name? Did you just like it? Was that
what? Her middle name is Megan. I named her because your mom always wanted a girl and she didn't get to have a girl, so we named her Talia Megan.
Because she
after your mom, because
no, not after my
mom.
Not
after
she would
your
have
mom.
named it. She would have named her female child Megan.
I was trying to represent both sides of the family. So Talia is name means joy in one of the languages, which represents my mom because Joy is my mom's middle name, and Megan was named for Grayson's side of the family because that's they didn't have any girls on that side, so it's not like we had any family names to build in, but I still wanted to include them.
But then you also picked your mom again with
okay, yes, so I wanted to carry the theme forward of having joy somewhere in either the meaning or the actual names. So Rhea's middle name is Joyella, which is a combination of my mom and my grandma, whose name was Ella. And then I threw that out the window with Rhett because I tried real hard. I couldn't find anything that wasn't awful.
What is Rhett's middle name? I can't remember.
Weston! We just had this conversation. Man, you're as bad as I am. So we did not like Seely. Seely did not make the cut. Callum did not make the cut.
See,
Eldon
I thought
did
for
not
sure,
make the cut.
I thought you were going to put Callum on there. There's another type of name that you just...
Okay, so I mean, it's not a bad name, but again, I know someone named Callum, and it's like... it's like a loose association. He used to play basketball with my brother, so I didn't really know him, but like... Anyway. Also, now that we've got Luca on here and I've been watching SWAT again, I had forgotten this. One of the characters' names is Luca.
Oh.
But, you win some, you lose some.
Sometimes you give me a boy's name that's a video game character that I know, and I just don't say that to you because I know you would just be like... well, now I'm not picking that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Are any of these video game character names?
No comment.
Okay. There's a movie called Luca.
Well, I don't care about movies.
Well,
Thanks for the information, I guess.
Okay.
I guess I'll have to go watch it now, so I can just not like the name.
Scratch that. Don't watch the movie. We don't need to narrow down our options. Although we did both have Nolan on the list, although you spelled it differently than I did, but we could compromise on the spelling.
Oh, no, the E is awful. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Grayson doesn't like Nolen, but no. Nolan is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, why the E?
Nolan.
Yeah, but
not Lan.
It's never been spelled that way.
It is in the name book.
Oh my god, the name book is so wrong.
I mean, to be fair, there's also like 16 other variations. Yeah, I think some of them have Y's and I's, and there's a lot of stuff. Okay, so we've got a couple options. The other thing is that after we choose a first name, which honestly is stressful enough, we then have to choose a middle name,
which is not hard at all. Except when half of the two of us here make it that way.
Yes, I do. Because it's important to name your child. That is
Right.
not something you should change
I've got
later.
the middle name.
All right, hit me.
Ferguson.
Great. You see what I deal with, guys? You see what I deal with?
Why don't we just pick one of the other names?
Well, I mean, we could, but it has to sound good together, and it has to be like an acronym that's not like something awful. I was listening to the radio the other day, and Amy Schumer had to change her child's middle name because it sounded like a swear word when you pronounce the first and middle name together pretty quickly. So, like, there are considerations that have to be made.
I guess. If anybody would ever say any child's middle name for almost any reason.
Well, apparently Amy Schumer said it enough that she needed to
She
legally
probably
change
said
it.
it once. That's the problem, is she filled out the paperwork. How old was the child? Probably 6 before she said it one time and went, oh God, we gotta change that.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I wasn't listening that closely. I had screaming children in the back of the car trying to get them to school drop off. That's a time. Okay. Well, I mean, I think that wraps up the episode. No, we're not going to decide right now what
We picked a name. We both picked number 1.
So maybe we have chosen a name. Stay tuned to see whether that sticks or not. We'll let it sit and marinate for a couple weeks till the baby arrives. See if when he gets here, he looks like a Luca. I guess I haven't actually announced the gender.
I never understand that.
Surprise!
Have you not?
No.
Really?
No, just if someone messages me and asks.
Oh.
I never did a post about it.
Crazy. Did we do a gender reveal? I'm pretty sure we did one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did cupcakes.
Oh, so we didn't really record it.
Not really.
Because all the other ones we had some kind of recording for.
Well, we didn't do a gender reveal with Talia. Talia
Did we
got a
not?
baby shower, and then the other babies got gender reveals. Gender reveals weren't really a thing 4 years ago. They just kind of cropped up after that.
So who was the one where we did the... First of all, yes, they were. Second of all...
Rachel did balloons for Rhea.
Okay. And
then we did the confetti cannons for Rhett. And then we did cupcakes for this baby. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's only fair since Talia got the most.
The baby shower.
Well, yeah. She also, like...
I wanted to have a baby sprinkle for the rest of the babies. Not like a bring us more stuff, but like a come celebrate that we're expanding our family again, even if it was like post-baby. And my mom was like, no, you can't do that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, it's just not worth the drama with her sometimes. And also I was just
don't
like,
invite her.
too exhausted. And I think we'll talk about this in the next episode, but we were also really busy at the time, so it didn't really fit to have a baby sprinkle for any of the other babies.
Yeah, I think we were, like, still planning on doing one, even though your mom didn't want to, but we just were like, screw it.
Never got around to it. Didn't have time. Anyway, let's wrap up this episode, and then we'll start a new recording for another episode about how we're preparing.
9:52, eh?
Suck it up, Buttercup. Suck it up. Maybe I won't release this episode until after the baby's here, so that's still a surprise about what the gender and the name is.
I don't know. We've only made it to T.
No, I went through the rest of the name book. I did not like anything.
Well, now you know the name.
All right. We will see you another week on the Go Get Great podcast. Thank you for hanging out if you stayed with us this long. I hope you found this somewhat comedic for your enjoyment because it's mostly stressful for me, even though I'm laughing. All right. Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Go Get Great. I hope you found some useful tips and tricks that can help you make life and business work together. If what I said resonates with you, please share it on social media and don't forget to tag at Brittany Miller's socials so that I can celebrate you for taking those first steps towards achieving greatness. Remember, success doesn't happen overnight. It takes dedication, hard work, and a lot of spirit. So don't be afraid to dream big and go after what you want. Keep striving for greatness. You get closer with every step forward, no matter how small they may seem. Until next time, go get great.